All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, my family over at Patreon. First of all, I want to say to each and every last one of you, especially those of you who contribute over at the National Christian Foundation, the link that we have over on the website, I want to thank you for your support. I want to thank you for your commitment and your dedication to truth, and I want to thank you for helping me get this word out. There are people that are literally coming to the Most High, being born again, being filled with the Holy Spirit. And when I think about people who support, and I think about all the years that I have given, most people don't think about that. When you give, what you're doing is you're also helping me to get the word out to the masses of the people. And then in that, you're actually instrumental in helping people to be saved. Come to Jesus, come to Yeshua. And it's very, very important to me. It really, truly is, as well as you. So I wanted to personally come on here and say thank you for your support. I truly do. Now, let's get at the subject matter at hand, okay? All right. We make ourselves known, and we literally manifest ourselves to you. When I say we, I'm talking about those of us who are preachers and teachers in this word. In this world, in society here, people perceive things and they believe things based on the pre-programming that is already in their minds. And what I want to say is this. I want you to listen to me very closely. While I am a pastor, no doubt about that. And while I am a teacher, no doubt about that. And while I am anointed, no doubt about that either. All right. I've always been of the mindset that everything that I learn, everything that I teach, everything that I come to, I want you to know. I want you to know so that, number one, you can be advanced in the Yah's kingdom, and so you can be a benefit to Yah's kingdom. However, listen to me very closely. When I am preaching and teaching on Shabbats, YouTube, Patreon, Blog Talk Radio, AM, FM radio stations, debates, no matter what venue that I'm in, understand this. I am a helper of your faith, but I am not the replacement for the father, for the husband, to teach his family in his home. Many times when I go over things, especially when it concerning our family, because the family is the anchor, it is the construct by which our whole entire nation is built. And you know just as well as I do that our family structure is tainted. It's all messed up, and it's that's why over and over again you keep hearing me use the word restoration. Restoration. The word restoration comes from the root word restore. We have to restore, and we should always be in the process of restoring all things, because there are a lot of things that just simply have been lost. And you know just as well as I do that we live in a satanic pagan country. You know that. The whole world belongs to Satan. It's all pagan in culture. And so anything that has to do with the Most High Yah, anything that is our culture and our heritage, because remember Jeremiah said that we would discontinue from. You better believe that this system is going to fight tooth and nail to keep us from coming to the things that have been lost. All right. And so there are a lot of people that have been evilly affected in their minds, and they don't understand things. Man, you as the head of your home, you are responsible to set your family down and teach them biblical marriage. You are. Because when you go read the book, look, it's painfully obvious that many of our people, especially our women, have been so deceived, because they're the ones that are always deceived, aren't they, by Satan, that they can't wrap their minds around biblical marriage, no matter what. I don't care if they sit there in the congregation or if they sit there on the other side of this video and say, oh yeah, I accept it. You don't know if they accept it until you in it. I'm telling you, because they know how to say things and words. And when they get to the point where they're back against the wall, they'll flat out tell you that I'm not ready. It has nothing to do with that. You have a covenant with her. And if you ended up with another woman, you have a separate covenant with her. So she is still married only to one man. I think people are messing this thing up and screwing this up and thinking that if a man has more than one woman, that the woman actually thinks that she is getting married to her as well. Now, it's unspoken, it's not said, but when you look at the function in reality, man, they sure do have a lot of opinions about things, don't they? And of course, I know what's going on. There's a lot of secret envy, a lot of secret jealousy, a lot of things that go on both sides. Fear, failure to realize that, I may not be good enough. All kind of stuff is spit in their ears. Or I may be replaced, or I may not have the same affection. All that is totally irrelevant. That is a European construct that come from a learned behavior over in this wicked world right here, which we have to divorce ourselves from. Man, you should be sitting down almost every other week, at least a weekly basis, and going over the law, going over the Torah, and teaching your family biblical marriage. That's what you should do. That's what you should do, so that we can get back to our culture, get back to the strength of our tribe. Because without it, we ain't going to have it. We're going to run around like a bunch of Vikings, Celts, Druids, Wessex, Scandinavians, and all these other pagans, these bloodthirsty pagans and everything else. And we're going to continue to keep falling after this wicked world and this society. You should be teaching them the importance of it. You should be teaching them why it's important. And you're not teaching them looking for their acceptance. You're teaching it simply because it's true. Because Yah regulated, Yah has given laws, Yah has defined, and Yah has even spoken and said himself that this is the way that the family is. It's amazing. Yah never rebuked Abraham, Moses, or David as being immoral. The only time he got on them is when they went against and despised, made light of his commandments. You remember King David when he took another man's wife and killed her husband in order to have her. Even at that, now Yah did take the firstborn son that Bathsheba had, but David immediately, after being in sackcloth and ashes, repented. And Yah didn't tell David, get rid of Bathsheba. She ended up bringing forth the wisest man that ever lived besides Yahshua the Messiah, Solomon. So, and I'm not saying, matter of fact, and you ain't David, none of us, and none of us ain't Solomon. And that don't mean you get the right to go out here and take somebody else's wife, because that's flat out adultery. And that is making light of the commandment of Yah. That is despising Yah and bringing him to naught. And just because Yah showed mercy on David don't mean he gonna show mercy on you. Remember, he says, I will show mercy on whom I will. And so we better get this thing. But the reason why there's still so many yet questions, because after you get finished hearing me preach and teach, you don't go back and follow up as the man of your house, the priest of your home. You don't go back and follow up and reiterate it and teach your family how important biblical Hebrew family is. Because as long as I'm doing it and you ain't saying nothing, everybody's going to have an opinion. Everybody's going to have something to say, and it's going to be all emotionally driven without even knowing it. You all know just as well as I do that I'm the one that literally had to break the ice. And not only break the ice, but when you look at my family structure, who can say that I am not a blessed man? Anybody out there? Anybody? When you look at my family structure, when you look at quite a few biblical families that we have in this ministry, the ones that I know that went the prescribed way, that the way myself and only a few elders Only a few elders have went and done just literally beautiful. We don't have all this conflict. We don't have all this visceral envy, this cancerous attitude, because listen, I'm going to say this, and I want you to listen to me very closely. A good woman will add long life and good days to her man. If she's going to add long life and good days, what else is she going to add? She's going to add a lot of health, which is basically real true wealth. And that man will be at peace. His house will be at peace. Because I would tell you this, when you do it the right way, when you have 2 or 3 women in your home, a man really truly understand what it means to be a king. Then he remember, because remember, we're going to be kings and priests. He understands exactly what it means to be a king when his house is at peace. But if you got women that are at odds, remember, by Eve, we all ended up in sin. But when you got women at odds, or they're just simply just against the order of Yah, you got problems. And when it causes undue stress upon you, a woman does. It causes your health to fail. It causes things to go south really fast. You may be in there enduring. You may be living for a time, but death is working in your body. Go and read the Psalms and the Proverbs and see what is the result of a wicked woman in your house, and then see what is the result of a righteous woman in your house. And I'm telling you, if you had one woman as righteous, what would 2 righteous women add to your house? Because women don't know this, but women, I'm going to tell you something about men. Men are so, I'm talking about a righteous man now. A righteous man is so built upon protecting and providing for his family and giving you conjugal rights. He is so built on that he will endure a lot of undue hardships coming from you, because there's nobody that can put a stress upon a righteous man like his woman. Because there is a soul tie there, and he really truly cares about the way you feel. And I tell men all the time, you mess up when you start getting into these realms of feelings and emotions rather than dealing with fact, because what you're going to do is destroy your own soul. That's what you're going to do. And if you really truly love that man, you'll be doing everything you can to assimilate to him. You'll do everything that you can to please him. That's like when you look at Proverbs 31, the virtuous woman. When we look at the virtuous woman, she had handmaidens, concubines in her house that was helped running the home. And her house, because she was so beautiful of a woman, would rise up and call her a blessed woman. There ain't too many women today that's going to give that kind of accolades to a woman. Not at all. Not at all. No, it ain't. There just simply ain't. I would love to see it because it's real, but it just simply ain't there. And I'm telling the truth. But listen to me very closely. If we can get this biblical thing down and do it the way that the straight way is leading, because see, I don't have nobody out there that is examples. There are plenty of people out there that's participating in what the world calls polygamy or polygyny, but I don't have any examples that I would literally follow that I have seen on the internet. They all jacked up. They all jacked up and messed up. And you know the reason why? Because they leave the Torah out of their lives. They're not even trying to regulate their lives according to what the word of Yah says. They leave it out. And when you leave Yah out of it, and you're trying to go and facilitate this and do this under your own merit or under your own power, it's doomed. It's destined to flat out fall. It won't be anything tangible that will last. Sisters, it is highly important that you learn how to love your sister woman in the family. Matter of fact, you should strive for that more than anything. I mean, after all, Yeshua said that by this all men shall know that you are my disciples, by the love that you have one towards another. And that thing has got to be so defined that when people see you, they see the love that's coming out of you, and that they would have a righteous envy towards it and would want the same things. As a matter of fact, there's a woman that says you should want for your sister what you want for yourself. And let's go back again. The Bible regulates. The Bible gives laws. The Bible actually gives instructions in how to go about having this, doing this, and what type of behavior that people should have. It literally does this. And you know just as well as I do that these religions, they hate following the word of Yah. They hate this. They hate this. And there's many of you that hate it. Men, one thing you're going to find out. You're going to find out if you really truly have a woman. I notice I keep saying woman because I'm trying to divorce myself from this thing called wife. Because whenever we say wife, we have a thing that goes on in our mind. The wife believes it's ownership of the man. But no. That ain't the way it is. It's called Ishi, Ishaya, or Peglish, or woman. That's more concretely. And I said, if I said it once, I said it 1,000 times, the only way that a woman can understand how a man's heart can love more than one woman other than herself is she can only understand it through experience. And that experience is you ask her clearly, how much or which child do you love the most? That right there is the stamp seal of approval. Because a woman's heart is only built to be divinely devoted to only one man. That's it. That is our whole constitution and construct. Anything outside of that is whoredoms. Anything outside of that is whorish. It is a sad, sorry, belligerent spirit that is nothing but just whoredoms. Nothing but just whore. But a woman is only designed for one man and one man alone. Think about what these Christians have done. They have taken their wicked ass satanic missionaries over to our land of Ham and tore up centuries of lifestyle over there. The gospel is that powerful that people want to accept the Messiah to get to the kingdom, but then they twist, warp, and distort it. Then they turn around and tell this man that has 5 or 6 women in his family, you can only pick one, leaving the rest of them out there like refugees, and then the women have to resort to prostitution just in order to make ends meet. I tell you, if that ain't nothing more damn satanic than that. The more I study Christianity, the more I despise it, the more I hate it, and the more I clearly see Satan's thumbprint and fingerprint on it all over the place. Because Yahshua was not a Christian. None of the apostles were Christians. Not a one of them. But we get damn Europeans putting pensmen to the Bible and stuff, and now you don't even talk about what the end of the book says, and all Israel shall be saved. Is Christianity. And this damn wicked ass religion done replaced everything in our minds. So you've got to learn the etymology of words, and you've got to literally divorce yourself from a lot of things in order to come to the knowledge of the truth. Because remember, Yah's people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge simply because they reject knowledge. And I'm telling you now, you know, my house, my home is literally at peace. I'm serious. But a woman, a wicked woman, can cause a man's health to fail fast and put him in an early grave. So let's just see how much you really truly love your man.